Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to July's episode of our virtual hub with Carers of Dundee. My name is Kieran Drugan, and I'm one of the team leaders at Dundee Care Centre. And I'm pleased to say I'm being joined today by two guests, and we are going to be discussing an exciting new fundraising campaign taking place in Dundee, which is the 29,000 Reasons campaign. So I'd like to bring my guests in now so we can have a discussion about the campaign and see what it entails. So just bring my guests in. Hello, Dave.
Hi, Kieran.
Hi, Ali. So, Dave, if I go to you first, could you just introduce yourself and tell us a wee bit about yourself? Thank you.
Sure. My name's Dave Close. I'm the director of Hot Chocolate Trust, which is a youth work charity based in the City Churches, just in front of the Overgate Centre in the city centre.
Perfect. And Ali, could you introduce yourself as well?
Good afternoon, I'm Ali Calder and I'm the Chief Executive of HELM, and again we're a youth work organisation that supports young people in Dundee, predominantly with their education and employment.
Fantastic. So as I said there in the introduction, we're here today to talk about this exciting new fundraising campaign, which is 29,000 Reasons, but I think it would be good maybe to get a wee bit of background. So Dave, can you tell me who the Dundee Youth Network are and what do they do?
Yeah, so Dundee Youthwork Network started just over a year ago. There's about a dozen youth work organisations from all around the city. Some of them are focused on a geographical area, some of them are focused on a theme like employability. But all of us came together because we wanted to create a way of fostering communication and mutual support and collaboration between us. That's our first priority, and that's been the focus because obviously getting started in sort of May, June last year, we were getting started in lockdown and all the craziness of that. The second aim that we have is to build the kind of strategic impact of youth work in the city and the strategic voice of youth work and of young people in the city, and that's slowly growing as the relationships between us and the collaborations between us are forming.
That sounds good. So thank you for that. And I guess it was from those discussions that the 29,000 Reasons campaign was kind of discussed and born. So do you want to give us a wee bit of more background how that came about? What was the thinking on that?
Yeah, so I don't know what you think about this whole pandemic business, but I'm not a fan.
No.
Yeah, I mean it's been an incredibly difficult period for so many people. I don't need to tell anyone in the audience that. And obviously a big focus for us as youth work organisations is staying alongside young people and supporting them in the massive impacts that it's had on their lives. But it also has an impact for us as organisations, as employers, as charities. And one of those is in fundraising. So each organisation will have different patterns of where the money comes from, but when it comes down to it, if we don't have that money coming in, then what we're able to deliver for young people, what we're able to do with them, is much reduced. And it's been affected by the pandemic. It's affected by economic conditions. Grant funding, which would support a lot of the work that happens in the city, has been massively disrupted by the pandemic. It's much more unpredictable and it's hyper competitive. So all of us have been thinking in different ways, how can we protect the sustainability of the work that we do so that young people can continue to rely on us. And we recognized that community fundraising is one of those ways, and thought, well, why not, instead of each doing a little bit in our corner, why not work together on that so that we can build a bigger campaign, we can support each other, we can promote what each other's doing, so that we can hopefully extend it beyond just our own immediate networks, and get other people fundraising around the city to support the young people of the city through this initiative. So the money that will be raised from it will come to the charitable members of Dundee Youthwork Network. So the council's youth work teams are part of the network. The corner is part of the network, but because they've got statutory funding, they'll be supporting the campaign, but they won't be receiving any of the proceeds. But it will go to those charity members and be split fairly between them. So, who knows what we'll raise, but doing it together should give us that bigger impact and hopefully mean more money coming in for all of us.
Sounds really good. I think you're right there, Dave, with more and more kind of restrictions on funding that's available. It is kind of pooling that resources together, because there's probably crossover. We are maybe as individual organizations maybe supporting the same young people, so rather than resources going on different people for the same thing, so it's about us working together to make sure that that young person's getting what's important to them, and us sharing those resources means we can probably do more than, as you were saying, each kind of person doing their own wee thing that's kind of quite limited. Sharing that resource will
there are loads of like little interconnections. There are also areas where one organization has a particular specialism, or and so the network as a whole hopefully can make the best of those interconnections, so that we're doing the best work that we can. And if that can apply to this fundraising campaign, then all the better.
Indeed. And I suppose our viewers might be wondering, so this number of 29,000 seems very specific. Ali, can you give us maybe a wee bit of background as to how this number came about, or we just made it up?
No, we didn't just pluck it from thin air either. So the group kind of did a little bit of research, and when you look at how many kind of 10 to 24-year-olds there are in Dundee, different resources tell you slightly different numbers, but in general it sits around about the 29,000 mark. So that means that there's approximately 29,000 young people in Dundee who have been impacted in the last year by COVID, and it means that there's 29,000 young people who will be, adapting to the impact in the future years. So for us, that meant that we had those 29,000 reasons, both to fundraise, but also to make sure that we're all still here, that we're all still, supporting those young people and kind of meeting their needs. So that's why we picked that number, but also it then gave us, I guess, a bit of a target around fundraising as well. So we could use like 29 miles to walk, or 290 cakes to bake, or that's a lot of cakes. But it gave us that kind of focus as well. So that's why we picked that number.
And so you've just kind of touched on some of the activities there, I think, or at least some of the ideas around that. So do you have any more details, Ali, on some of the activities that we know are taking place or about to take place?
Yeah, so I know Dave knows a little bit more about this than me, but certainly for ourselves at HELM, we are going to be walking 2.9 million steps in the fortnight. So I should say the date is the 28th of August to the 11th of September. So that's kind of the fortnight that we're asking people to fundraise within. But people can do out with that. I know one of the organisations is doing 29 days rather than 29 kind of activities. So they're doing 29 days out with that. And I know somebody else has used their wedding as a fundraiser. So instead of having a gift list, I know, how amazing is that? So instead of having a gift list, they're actually using their weddings. So if anybody's having weddings over the summer and they want to fundraise for young people in Dundee, please feel free to get in contact. So it's that fortnight really predominantly. And a couple of weeks after that, we'll kind of be closing the Just Giving page. But we're looking at that fortnight. So we've got people doing keepy-ups. We've got, as I say, we're booking steps. We've got somebody doing a wedding for us. We've got other people, I think, who are doing a particular amount of miles. So there's a lot of kind of physical activities, but we don't want it just to be physical activities. So if people feel that they can't do physical activities, then they can look at things like baking cakes and selling them, or anything. And it doesn't have to be around the 29th. We just think that that's useful for people to have a focus.
Yeah.
And Dave, you probably know a little bit more about some of the fundraising activities as well.
Yeah, I'll be honest though, all I can think about now is 290 cakes. I really hope somebody does that. but yeah, the 29,000 keepy uppies is one that I'm going to be taking part in, and we've also got Councillor John Alexander, the leader of the council. He's going to be doing. I don't think either of us will get into double figures, so we're also talking to like the football clubs and some of the young people at Hot Chocolate who can actually play football to get up to the 29,000. There's the LGBT Youth Scotland, their Dundee groups, they're going to be doing 29 stories. I think that's over the 29 days. I think Rock Solid are talking about a litter pick. There's a Dundee and Angus ADHD support group. They're going to be doing steps like you guys. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of things and wide open possibilities. The more different people that we can get fundraising, the better, because giving a donation would be smashing. And we'll be delighted every time somebody does that. But if you can be a fundraiser, then it's not just you but all of your networks. So we're also writing to some of the companies in Dundee to see if they'd like to as a company do something to raise funds. So if we can get that kind of growing that way, whatever your idea, then that will really build the campaign.
And how can people in Dundee get involved in the campaign? What would be the way they can do that? You want to tell us a bit more about that? So
you can find our campaign page on Just Giving. It's called 29,000 Reasons Dundee. You can find us on social media. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. The names are slightly different, but they're all variations on 29,000 Reasons. And I'm sure the links will be coming out with this broadcast. So if you want to be a fundraiser, then go to that Just Giving page and there's a button that says Start Fundraising. If you click that, you can register your details and we'll be in touch with some support to help you to kind of put that together. So yeah, the campaign page on Just Giving is the key place. That's also where you can make donations if that's a preferred option.
Sounds good. I think Ali had maybe missed over a wee point there. So we did talk about the main fundraising dates taking place over August, September. Can people start doing fundraising now, or does it have to take place in that 2 weeks?
No, not at all. So we're kind of focusing on those 2 weeks, kind of after the summer holiday, everybody's kind of back at school, and we thought that would be a good time to really focus the event. But people can start now. The Just Giving page is up there. People can get registered, and if they have a preferred date that they want to do it over the summer holidays, it's actually easier for them to do it over the summer holidays, then that's absolutely great. And as I say, it'll be a little bit after the 11th of September that we'll be shutting the Just Giving page. So even if people want to go over the 11th of September, then that's absolutely fine as well.
Fantastic. And have we thought about a figure? Is there an amount that we would like to raise, do you think, in the campaign? I know obviously £1 million would be ideal, but it's maybe not possible. What's your kind of thoughts around that?
Not this year, Kieran. Maybe the next time we do one, we'll go for the £1 million. Why not? Well, you'll be surprised to hear that what we're looking at is £29,000. We're keeping it simple so that everybody knows exactly what we're doing, and we're looking at that as our target across all of the charities. And obviously that money will be split, as Dave said earlier, fairly across all the different organisations that are participating to support young people across Dundee in the coming year. So it's £29,000 that we're looking to raise.
And yeah, I think you touched on it. So in terms of what the money would be used for, I think obviously we spoke earlier on that each organisation obviously does have their core activities that they do, and they will probably use some of that money to continue with those core activities from the Carers Centre point of view. We do our summer programmes, we do our autumn programmes, but as well, I think there is that opportunity then to pool those resources and maybe do something in that kind of collective spirit. So that sounds really good. Is there anything else, Dave Raleigh, you'd like to kind of say about the campaign before we finish today?
I think, I mean, the money matters hugely. Let's not beat around the bush about that. That income for the different organisations will make a real difference to sustaining our work alongside young people, but also the collaboration matters, and that's so far that's been collaboration between the organisations, and it's been great. It's been really encouraging, and it provides a kind of foundation for future collaborations. But we hope that collaboration will expand. So as people choose to support, as people register as fundraisers, then that relationship counts as well. So we're really looking forward to that. And at the end of this, we'll be sharing. As we go along, actually, we'll be sharing, what's going on, and hopefully we'll get some press coverage in the autumn as well. But we'll be sharing back, what we've raised and what difference people have made. So we're looking forward to those new connections, whether it's with individuals, whether it's with companies, workplaces. It's just quite exciting to see that growing.
Yep, and I think as well, because we're doing this collective piece, and it's kind of showing the people of Dundee what can be done when people kind of get their heads together and think about a sort of outwit across the city. And I guess as well is that some of the other benefits will be that it'll increase awareness of each of the projects and what they do to support young people in Dundee, and ultimately that's who we're kind of hoping to have the benefit here for those young people, particularly around some of the negativity of COVID-19 last year. And it's, once we have this fundraising campaign, we're probably going to be in a better position in terms of restrictions being lifted. So it gives us as a collective group an opportunity to do more new and exciting things in the coming months. So we haven't had any live questions today, so you're off the hook, Dave and Ali. I would just like to finish off by saying a massive thank you for coming along today to speak about the campaign, and we all look forward to being part of it and getting stuck into those activities and seeing all the videos and photographs and quotes and all the different things that are going to come out over the next coming months. And just to finish off, we will be back next month with another edition of the hub, and any of the information today will be available on our Dundee's Carers of Dundee website, and this video will be recorded and available on that website as well. So if you're joining us in a recorded session, you can ask questions and we will follow that up. So just like to say once again, Dave and Ali, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
All the best.